Hi, everyone. We are back at a different time today. It's 11 o'clock. Normally we meet at 8, but due to some other activities for the next couple months, we are going live at 11 o'clock. As you know, I go live every Monday to meet with women across the world, globally, and just hear their story. I feel like it's so important that women realize that they are valuable right now where they are in this moment, and they have influence where they are primarily with those closest to them. And so today I am so excited to have Christina with us. And it turns out Christina and I have common friends, and we know some of the same people. And she's actually local to San Diego. I love what Christina is doing in the world. Christina is a Reiki Master. She's a marketing professional. She worked in corporate for many, many years and kind of finally decided to start her own business. She's a mom of 3. Christina, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. So excited to be here.
I'm excited to chat with you. So, Christina, we were chatting off air and we were talking about how neither of us really realized October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And we were like, oh, well, this works out really well because it's October. You're the first person I'm bringing on this month. And I just thought, you know what a great way to kick off Domestic Violence Awareness Month and being local. And we both have a similar story. I want to first ask you, before we dive into that, let's go into what are you grateful for today?
Gosh, you know what? I start every morning with gratitude, and I'm grateful for everything, even for the lockdown, the quarantine, everything that is being shown to us during this very challenging year. But through the chaos, I really feel that I'm learning a lot. I see my children learning a lot, and everyone around me is really growing at just exponential speeds, and this coming into a great awakening, really. And so I'm going to go off the map. I didn't think I was going to say this, but I'm actually grateful for everything that this pandemic is showing us and challenging us with.
That's so good. And again, we talked off air about our similar story. You left a violent situation several years ago now. I think it was 2013. Is that right? And you took 2013, you took your 3 young children and left. Will you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are now? Because you're just moving and shaking, and you're your own businesswoman and doing amazing things locally. Tell us a little bit about that.
Gosh, well, you know, it's a lot. So I did leave in 2013, and through the court system and ongoing legal battles, I actually was not legally divorced until 2018. So it took quite a while, a lot of trials and tribulations. And even 2016 was when I won the full custody of my children. So we can get into that, you know, it's a whole nother nutshell, but experiencing it and then having the courage to leave, and then securing your safety post leaving, I think is one of the biggest challenges out there for us women, despite the other challenges of just the shame and the courage that it takes to even come forth with a story.
What caused you to finally leave? How were you able to finally leave? Because I know this is a question we get asked a lot. And I know I have my own reasons, but I want to hear from you. What caused you to finally leave that situation?
There was a big blowout. It was early in 2013. So my youngest was only 2, and the episodes escalated to the point where the children were witness to it. It didn't matter what was happening. And it was, you know, to the point where I literally thought I was going to lose. I knew I would lose my life if I stayed. And even it probably would have happened even in front of the children, because that particular instance was in front of my kids. And I just remember the 2-year-old screaming and trying to stop it, or, you know, seeking comfort, and it continued on. And so at that moment, my esteem and my courage and my strength were just really shot. I mean, I was in one of the darkest places. And so I will say that I didn't leave even for myself, but I left for the children. They were just my biggest strength and my hope.
What has your healing journey looked like since that moment that you left?
Tumultuous. There definitely wasn't a straight path. I don't think anyone's journey is. So it took a while. I was self-medicating. I was drinking loads of alcohol, and just really trying to soothe myself and find the courage to continue on the path, because leaving is just the starting point, right? As you well know, the journey has just begun. And so it went down even darker paths to bring me to a point where I wanted to fight not only for the children but for myself. And so that, including sobriety, recently going vegan, even dedicating my life. I have a passion for the gym. I love to lift heavy things, which but the gyms being closed, or for the most part, since I can't go to them, has been challenging. But really turning myself to a life of seeking just high vibrational alignment, really, with everything. If it doesn't feel good, I'm not there for it any longer.
Do you think, okay, I want to ask you this, because often it seems that those of us who are highly sensitive end up in abusive situations, but you're also a Reiki master. Do you think that you're able to sense danger more than others? I think I'm asking what I want to ask, but you know what I'm saying? Do you sense like the vibrations and those kind of the universe warning you now?
Yeah, and intuition doesn't lie, and I think that everyone has it. I think that a lot of times when you choose certain experiences and it doesn't turn out the way you had expected, you start to doubt your own knowledge and your own intuition, and so you dull that voice inside of you. And I know it happened with me. It's very successful in school and my career, and then you end up in this dark place, and there's this question of, how did I let it get to this point? And, there's so many warning signs, and what did I do to, just basically to bring this into my reality? And so I think now I am more in tune with the energies, and with the just, with I guess with the universal life force that runs through all of us. And I think that we're all born with that. And I think that ego has a big thing to do with us not choosing to listen to what we know in our hearts.
Yeah. There's so many places we can go with this conversation. And I think I want to ask, what advice do you have for women who are in this situation currently right now?
You are not alone. And it doesn't matter if it takes 1, 2, I think the average is 7 times to finally make that final decision to leave. I think it's just keep trying. If I think a lot of times people are ashamed to, I did it, reach out to friends, reach out to loved ones. And it's like, oh, here comes Christina again, talking about the thing. And then she's going to go back, and it takes time for the camel's back to break, right? And so you never know when it's going to be that specific time that this is going to be it for you. So if it takes 100 tries to get out, I think you should there's no shame in trying again.
Yes, and that's a big word. Shame is a big word in that situation. There's no shame. Keep trying, and find your support. And it can be violent. We know that it can be a very violent situation when you leave. So make sure you get the proper support. Do you know of local resources that women can actually find here in San Diego?
I don't work with any organizations actually, and which is something that is probably on, should be on my to-do list to do. Yeah. But I know there are hotlines. I know that there are places, if people go to, places of worship, or even if you don't belong to the actual communities, I know that you could walk into a church, and seek that refuge. It's a difficult thing. I know you don't necessarily always want to go to an authority or, the police station to file those reports, but I think, turning back to spiritual leaders in the community. Again, even if you're not a member, I would go there. And then, of course, online, there's so many resources online. Of course, you have to be careful, but there's some comfort in the anonymity of it, just to gather your information, to find your way out. It's going to look good for everyone, right?
Yeah. I think I'm going to put up, after our chat, put up a national hotline that I know of. And I know that every hotline that I put up immediately pops up a warning. Make sure you're watching your login and all that, because these can be very dangerous situations. But I'll put up some hotlines and some websites that I know of after this chat. I think it's important. Let's move on a little bit. You're a Reiki Master.
I am.
Absolutely fascinating. And it goes along with your healing journey. Will you tell us about this?
Yeah. Gosh, 3 years ago, I would say 3 years ago now, I had a spiritual awakening. So I was raised Catholic girl, went to church and did all the things. And it was a journey when I physically manifested. I had a frozen shoulder. That's where my left arm, I couldn't even hold like a grocery bag or my purse. I couldn't, reach out the car window to say, grab fast food. It was just completely frozen and just sharp pain. And so I went through, I stopped going to the gym for about 6 months. I went to physical therapy. I got cortisone shots and actually got an MRI. And the MRI came back completely clean. There were no tears, no rotator cuff injury. And so my son was actually going to a therapist at the time for his PTSD, and she knew of my situation, and she suggested that I see a craniosacral therapist, so who she had seen for an injury. Craniosacral is also another type of energy healing. And I thought, she's local. She's about 5 minutes from my house. She comes over, she brings a massage table, and she performs this healing on you. And it was nothing. It was like $100. So I decided, everything else is not working. Let me try this. And since the therapist had said it, he was someone who I trusted, I knew, wow, within one session, I was about like 80% healed. One more session about a month later, and I had full functionality of my shoulder again. And so it brought me to this place where I started to realize how we are just energetic beings, and our physical experiences are just manifestations of what's happening emotionally, spiritually to us. It all coincided actually with the some heavy court proceedings that I had to go through in my journey. And I realized that it was just a culmination of everything that I had been carrying with me. And so releasing that trapped energy just turned me to a whole new way of looking at things. And so I just delved into the teachings of Wayne Dyer and Ram Dass and all the ones, and Gabby Bernstein's one of my favorites as well. And I just started to put together the pieces of what I had been aware of, but not in tune with my whole life. And just the synchronicities and the signs are just amazing. And that's how I came upon energy healing, tapping into the universal life force, which is what we do to help others heal. And it's not that we're the healer as the practitioner, but it's assisting the other in their healing, because the human body heals itself, right? Through our action.
Yeah. And we all are energy. We carry energy. And so I imagine it has something to do with tapping into a divine energy force and realizing that we are divine energy as well. Am I getting this right, or am I totally off?
Oh, you're totally off. And I'm like, oh, you're just so good. It's so right. And when oh my goodness, I could go on, but just when I started to embrace that, it just was so amazing that we are the miracle, and all of this abundance is open to us, and all the possibilities. I think I'm so excited about it because, when I did have the abusive marriage and all of those things happening around me, I felt disconnected and, without hope. And now I'm, just so scared. I mean, how is it, you're going to go through all of that, and then you have children to consider and to make away with no support. But it's just like, wow, how powerful a being you truly are. It's just so amazing.
Would you call that energy love by any chance?
I'm sorry, say again.
Would you call that energy love by any chance?
Oh, It is, though. It is absolutely that. We are it. We emit it. We welcome it in. And there's only two things in this world, right? It's love and it's fear. If it's not love, then it's fear, and it's actually false. And so, oh, this is so powerful. I'm loving it.
Dang, I love this. We're going to talk more about this. We're going to have coffee and we're going to talk about this because you're tapping into something that I so believe in, and you're tapping into the healing power of love.
Yeah, and it was a big twist for me because, again, the way I was raised in Catholic church, and then doing all the things, go to school, get a job, settle down, get married, all those things by the book. And if you had told me certain things, certain teachings prior to my awakening, I would have thought, just woo-woo, and, but really when you peel back all the layers, it's really the basic essence of life. And it just makes you go, wow. And you realize, you look at the leaders in this world, these people who've built, just really successful brands and businesses for themselves. A lot of them have tapped into this, knowingly or consciously or unconsciously, but they just get it. They get how you get into a flow, you tap into your passion, and you discover what you are here for, and you just do it. You just do the thing, whatever that thing is for you, and all of that energy is just radiated back to you in love.
Christina, okay, so this brings me to ask you, what are you here for? What is your purpose?
I know, because I'm a dabbler. It's a hard one to answer, girl. It's a hard one to answer.
Like, I see you doing it. I see you doing your purpose. I see you glowing with your purpose.
Well, I want to continue to spread the awareness and through my story and my testimony, right, of really being able to honor your passion and your purpose. And so in so doing, empower others to do it. And even through my business of whether it be marketing or, specifically on Reiki healing and spiritual life coaching, it always leads to that. It always leads to that, because I think we're all searching for the whys. And if I can be that channel to peel back the layers and help you discover why you're here, I mean, that would be a life well lived for me.
I think that's beautiful. Who inspires you? You listed Ram Dass previously and a couple others I'm forgetting. Who truly inspires you and why?
Wow. Well, one of the big ones is Wayne Dyer, I think. I think he's got to be speaking to me from the other side, because he has accomplished so much in his life. And he was a university professor, about to be tenured and all these things, and walked away from his life of stability, fought his addictions, and basically followed his heart, and penned his first book after he made peace with his father who had passed. He went through not only just the addictions, but was, in a foster home for a while, had so many hurdles, but then was able to overcome all of that. And a lot of his works and his words is just really resonates with me. So he's one of my favorites.
What book did he write that you read? Which one is that?
Well, he has The Shift, which is the first one that not the first one, but the one that just comes to mind. It's a smaller book, actually, and there's a movie that goes along with it. And it's one of the most poignant ones for me, because it goes from the seasonality of your life, or the timing of your life, where you go from ambition in the morning to a life of purpose. So it really resonates with me. I think just where I am, because you go through, your earlier years of always trying to be successful and get all the titles and all the things. And then something happens in your life where you search more for meaning. The afternoon, if you will, of your life. And because I'm there, that's one of the ones that if anyone's watching, I would highly recommend. As a seeker, you're probably in that season, that seasonal change.
It's funny, because I'm actually reading right now Man's Search for Meaning.
Okay.
And so, have you read that? It's by Victor. Well, I'm in that right now, and I'm like underlining every every other line, but it's a beautiful thing. And I love how the conversations will flow when you're kind of on the same path. But Christina, this makes me want to ask you also, what is success to you? What does success look like to you?
I'm already there. I have everything that I need. I wake up just completely enamored with all of the possibilities. Even on a Monday morning, I see so many people. I used to be one of those who, complains about a Monday or complaining about all the things that they have to do. And now I just look at things differently. I get to do this. I get to do whatever it is, whether it's homeschooling my 3 kids, taking my father to his doctor's appointments. I get to do all those things. And I'm just so thankful for that, really. And I think because I have that awareness, I've reached success.
You do, and you're doing so much in this moment. I mean, working as a vice president of a company, owning your own business, and then aside from that, owning your own Reiki healing services. And then are you currently homeschooling your kids now as well?
I am. There's 3 of them, and so we've got to do all the things. I have one in 7th, one in 5th, and one in 4th.
How are you doing this?
It's like a big juggle, girl. It's a big juggle. I wake up super early, probably annoyingly early to most people.
No, I saw you. We messaged each other at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, I know. I know it's probably irritatingly early. Like I wake up between like 3 and 3:30 each morning, but that's when I'm most aligned. And I start my day with my little routine while the world is still quiet to me. I meditate and I journal and I do all the things before even the kids wake up. And a lot of times, when I'm prepping for the day as well, I love to write, and so I get out my best stuff before they even get cracking for their showers and their breakfast. And it always just seems to work out. And I'm, just not fighting. If I'm too tired to do something, or I have the to-do list, but I'm not so focused on crossing it all off, of course, not letting things slide off like crazy, but, just really staying in flow. And so that's how I've managed all of it. And I know a lot of people who are having a really hard time. And I think it's because they're trying to control everything. I don't have control, I'm not the one opening the school or letting it okay for everyone to go back. And of course I have my father here with me, who we talked about, can't expose him. So they're home for the time being. So I just, I'm just letting it go. I'm letting it go. And I'm thankful. I am so thankful that I do have my own business, that, I work with a company now who allows me to do what I need to do when I need to do it. And we're all thriving. So.
And it's a local company that you're working for. You took on a new role as VP of, what is your title?
VP of Sales and Marketing. So it's kind of it's an all-encompassing deal. And I've been working with these guys for a while on smaller projects, and I've known them for quite a long time. They do custom merchandising for brands and some big names that you would know even. And really what it's all about is bringing your authentic brand to life. Turning, like I say, it's turning your customers into fans and your employees into brand advocates, because anyone can make merchandise, right? You could put a logo on a t-shirt and a hat and call it, your merchandise. But really, we feel like it's just a expression of who you are. It's your energy infused into everything. And then for the person wearing it, it's an expression of who they are. And so that's why I took the opportunity. So blessed and so thankful. And we work with some amazing people. So it's always good.
And they do beautiful work. I looked at the company and the work they do, and I was blown away. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful and it's thorough. And we're going to be talking because I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. But if you could give advice to women around the world right now, what would that advice be?
Wow. You know what? Speak up. Use your voice. We think that, you know, it's just words, but words manifest into things, and then things become our reality, and our reality is, you know, really our whole life as we know it, and as the people who come before after us will know it as well. For so long, it's funny because I just got finished reading a book with my daughter who just turned 11, and it was the book that Malala had penned, and her whole story, and it's just about, you know, what a beautiful soul and how much strength she had as a young girl in this, you know, this situation, but she revolutionized the world, and everyone came to bask in her light, you know, and there's so much more to go. There's so much more to do, and this rise of the divine feminine. I mean, thank God for women like you who are creating a safe space for us to speak on it. But wow, you know, we have so much to be thankful for. The internet, we've got a platform. I don't care if you've got 2 followers on Twitter or, you know, 100 friends on Facebook. You've got something to say, and there's going to be someone out there that's reading it that is going to thank you for it. Maybe not to your face. You may never even know, but you can definitely make a difference, and we have to use that.
How powerful is story to you?
Oh, it's everything, right? It's everything. I mean, you can live all the realities, but it's how you interpret and how you express it, which makes all the difference. It brings all the power. It can uplift, or it can do the exact opposite. And so the stories that we tell ourselves and that we tell others absolutely has the power to change our lives.
I love that. Christina, I've loved everything we've chatted about, and I could ask you a billion questions, and I'm going to later. But where can our friends find you online?
They can find me on Twitter. I think you have that up. I don't even know what the handle is because there's an underscore 2.0. I'm also on Instagram, Christina 2.0. And then, of course, my website at Aloha Ascension. And I'm around.
We're around to chat with you. And again, you work for a merchandise company that's absolutely fabulous for anyone who's looking to create their own merchandise. Reiki Master for healing, which is a beautiful thing locally here in San Diego. And you write for healing. And so I'm going to put up your links. I have them on my Facebook, but I'll put them up also on Twitter. But thank you, Christina, for being here. I so appreciate you. I've appreciated this conversation. Thank you to our friends for watching. Any last words, Christina?
Wow. No, I just want to say thank you. You know, this is another blessing upon my path, and what an honor it is. I'm humbled to be here with you, and thank you so much for creating this, not just for me, but for everyone else, to share and to grow with.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun to hear everybody's stories and to see what they're doing in the world and how everyone is just influencing in their own way and bringing hope to the world. So thank you, Christina. I appreciate you.